Okay, so I hope my screen is visible to you.
Yes, I can see your screen. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, so yes, in the last class we talked about the hierarchical inheritance. So one parent and many child, and we talked about the runtime polymorphism, and we discussed about the super keyword. So super keyword is used to invoke the parent class constructor, parent class variables, and the parent class methods. Right? Okay.
Mm.
Now coming over here, I wanted to. Okay. Now let's say like 1 minute. So before we proceed, I wanted to ask you something. Like I'll show once again. It's day 13, right? Okay. Now, so here let's take the same thing. Okay, class, animal, and then dog, extends. I'll just take only one thing over here. Okay. Now, when you say animal, new dog. Okay, coming back to the program which we discussed in the last session. Okay, so when you say animal, new dog,
So it
animal
will
dot
take
eat.
the docs. I mean, it will go to the doc class and it will print out the whatever is message is there.
Okay, now let me have a variable over here int. Okay, so now for this particular line, what will be the output? Animal dot eat, you said dog eat will be printed. The dog eat bones, right? So that will be printed, right? Let me show you before we move ahead. The dog eat bone. We
Hmm.
have only animal dot eat, and it's like the dog eats bone. Okay, fine. Now what will happen to this when you say animal dot value? Which value will be printed?
Can you go down again? 1 second.
Yeah, the value is animal dot value. I'm taking animal dot value. Animal, we have a reference over here, and dog is the object over here. So this is the dynamic binding, taking a parent class reference to the child class object. So in that case, when you say animal dot value, so what will be the
Will take
output?
90.
It will take 90.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see the output. 10.
Hmm.
It will print only the parent class. The reason behind this is only the method overrides, not the variables. You got it?
Only
One
method
only
will
method
override.
override. So when you
Hmm.
say animal dot eat, that refers to this animal dot eat. But it is when it refers to the object of a object of child, the it checks whether the eat is present in the child or not. Once it is present, yes, a method overrides and it prints the dog eat bone. So only we have the option of method overriding, not with the variable overriding. Okay, so that's the reason when you say animal dot value, it prints 10 over here. Okay, not the 90. So this point you have to be aware about it in the inheritance. Okay,
So overriding is for method only. It's not for the variable.
no, it's not for the variable. Okay, is that is clear?
Okay, just 1 second.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Yes. So let me close the other steps. Take this. So today we will talk about the final keyword. So what is a final keyword?
I think hybrid inheritance was remaining.
That I said you that I will discuss when we talk about the interface. And
Okay.
before to that few concepts that has to be done
Yeah, yeah, sure.
before we go to the interface. That's the reason. Okay.
Okay.
So coming over here, let me show you. So in the types of inheritance, multiple is not supported with
It's
Java.
not supported.
Single, multi-level, hierarchical, we have seen.
Hmm.
Hybrid inheritance, that will be implemented by using the interface. So when we talk about the interface, that I will let you know. Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Now coming to the final keyword. Okay. So what is final? Any guess? Any guess for the final?
I think final keyword is like it's a class which once declared it's immutable, I think. Uh,
Okay. All right. So now, yes. So the final is like it will declare the value. Okay. It is used to declare the constant. Okay. So which means it prevents the method overriding and it stops the inheritance. Okay.
it
So
talks
it's
the
used to
inheritance.
it stops the inheritance. So
Okay.
which means like one time assignment only. It won't go ahead with the overriding and all. Okay. So one time if it is assigned, the value will be that only. It won't change in between in the program. Okay. It stops the inheritance. So now you can use the final with the variables, final with the methods, final with the class as well. Okay. Let me show you. Okay. So you can use the final at the variables, methods, and the class. Now let's see. Okay. Now coming over here. Okay. Now coming over here. The first thing, let's talk about the variables. When you declare a variable as final, the value, okay, value that cannot be changed. Value cannot be changed once it is assigned. Okay, once it is assigned, it cannot be changed. Let's see. Now coming over here, if I say int age equal to 25, okay, int age equal to 25. Again, I can change to 30, right? And wherever I want, I can change it. Int, I can say 70, right? I can change it out. Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. One second. Okay. Now, if I say, okay, if I say, can you see the error over here?
Yeah, yeah, because you use the final keyword, no? Yeah.
Exactly. So final means once you assign the value, you cannot change it. So which we call it this as a constant. So when you can go ahead with this for the predefined values. Predefined value like your date of birth. The date
Hmm.
of birth cannot be modified, right?
Hmm.
The mathematical values, the value for pi
Hmm.
3.14, the value
Hmm.
cannot be changed, right? So
Hmm.
those things you can use it. If you are using those things in your program, then you can use the final keyword, okay, in front of them. Then coming to the next, let's say like the method, usage of final in the method. Okay, so now let's take this. Let me have a class parent. Okay, and I say like void, okay, show message, and let me print hello from parent. Okay, now I'll just extend the child class.
Sorry for interruption. Actually,
Yeah,
please don't remove whatever you are writing. Just do whatever down to that actually. Just put
okay,
the comment here, yeah, please.
okay, okay.
Because I will not be able to revise later on if
Mm,
it's not there.
okay. So we have two classes, parent and child. Here it is a single inheritance, right? So we have one parent and one child. Okay. Now coming over here, if I say over here, we can say like, if you go ahead with the child C1 dot, okay, C1 dot show message. So which one will be printed?
1 second.
Hmm.
Child, C1 child. mm, C1 dot so much. So much. Obviously, second one.
Hello from child.
Yeah.
Okay. Hello from child. Now I'm using final over here. I'm using the final in the method of the parent class. Now can you see the
So
error on the
yeah, it will
show
show message
message?
because you cannot extend where you
Mhm.
already used the final there.
So when you have a final, it prevent the method overriding and it stop the inheritance. Can you see? It
Yeah.
prevent the method overriding and stop the inheritance. Okay, so few restrictions will be there, so which we cannot access from our parents' side, right? Something personal to them. Okay, so you can go ahead with the final. And now, if you say this, what will be the answer?
Oh, the first one.
First one, hello from the parent. So imagine a company policy. Okay, there will be certain policies. Okay, so let's say like the login time will be 9. Okay, so that is the policy. So which you should, many policies in between that can change, but this login time 9 is must. So you should not change, which means like that you can put it as a final. Okay, a final method is like a rule that subclasses must follow without modifications. Okay, a company
Well,
policy that cannot be changed by the employees, right?
yeah.
The same thing over here. Okay, then let's talk about the class. So for you can declare the variable for the constants. If you put it on the method, that prevents the method overriding. Method overriding. Now we have to say the inheritance. How to stop the inheritance? I don't want this parent to be a parent of any other one. I don't want this child. I don't want this child class to inherit this parent class. I want to stop that. Okay, I want to stop that. So in that case, if I go ahead with the final over here, there comes the error.
Yeah, you cannot extend this. Then,
And
yeah,
okay, and this stops the inheritance. Okay, this stops the inheritance. Is that is clear?
yeah.
Okay, so this is with your final.
Then
So
what will
final,
be, then in this case, the output will, it will take automatically from the first entry and exit will
you
be
cannot
there.
have an extend. You cannot have extends, right?
No, no, it's extend is now. Then can you run this? What will be the output will be hello from parent only. Can you run this?
This one. See,
No,
when I
no,
just
no, no,
commented,
no.
okay, I didn't make use of this message. I didn't. I'm not calling anywhere. So it
Yeah,
will be the
yeah,
blank. It
yeah,
will be the
blank.
blank. But if you wanted, you can go ahead and say
Like
parent.
parent C1, P1 is equal to new parent. Then it will print this, that.
Yeah, exactly. P1
Dot show message. Yeah.
Okay. Yes. So this is with your final. So final with the variables, value cannot be changed. That is what your constant.
Yeah.
Final with methods, um,
Prevent
cannot
method overriding
override.
and
Yes.
stop inheritance also.
So for the stop inheritance, that will be the class.
Yeah.
Cannot be inherited. So with this, your inheritance will get stopped. Clear? Is this clear with your final?
Yeah. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. Next, let's move on with the static modifier. So what is static modifier?
Static modifier is like
I think this we have discussed on the variable part where we talked about the static variable.
static modifier is like once we are declaring the class, I think then static modifier, then it can be used by I mean the other classes, and it can be modified also.
Okay. All right. So now coming over here, static. Okay. This is used for the memory management, and it allows the variables, okay, methods, and blocks, whatever you have, to belong to the class only, to belong to a class rather than, okay, rather than the rather than the individual objects. So now if you remember the 10 chocolates in my hand, I want to distribute for 10 people. If I'm going one by one, my chocolates should reduce one by one, right? For one, when I go to the first person, I will be having 10. Once I distribute the chocolate, I should have 9 in my hand, right?
Hmm.
So when I move to the next person, in my hand, I should want to have only 9, not the 10. So now coming over here, whenever you declare some variable, okay, whenever you declare some variable, whenever you create an object, the variable will be applicable for all the objects that you create. So for object 1 also age is 25, for object 2 also age is 25, for object 3 also age is 25. Okay, so but
Yeah.
I don't want it at the object level, I want it at the class level. So in that case what happens? Okay, so 25 is equal to all the three. 25 will be shared among all the three objects, instead of allotting the 25 to each and every one.
So we will declare in starting only, so it will be shared by all, I think.
Exactly. So let's select static. Again, you can use the static with the methods, variables also. Okay. So let's go ahead and see one by one. Okay. You can use with variables, methods, blocks. Okay. Let me show you one by one. So you can use static. The first one is variables. Okay, so when a variable is declared as static, so it means all objects share the same value instead of creating a separate copy. Okay, now let me show you an example for this. I have a class company over here. Okay, all right, and I have employees will be there. Okay, employees will be there. Now coming over here, the company name is common for all the employees, right?
Hmm.
And company name is common. If I want to create an object for this company, I cannot give create a name for all the objects. Instead, I can go ahead and say string company name equal to, let's say, like tech corp. Now, if I go ahead, okay, if I go ahead and create a company object, my company name should be equal to all the objects, right? Whatever I have, it should be equal, right?
I think C1, C2, you can
Yeah,
write.
yeah. Company one, company two, company. These are the instance for this class. Okay, these are the objects for this class. So I cannot give a separate name. I don't want a separate company name for these because these are the objects for this company class. I
Hmm.
want this name to be shared by all the. I want the name to be shared by all the objects that I have created. Okay, that I'm creating. So coming over here, if I say um, okay, so now if I go ahead and say company one dot um, show company name, now what will be the output? Now what will be the output?
It will be the single only because it's pointing to that common that company Tech Corp.
Ah, so it will be like a tech corp for all.
Hmm.
Now, if I say static over here, if I say static over here, then what will happen?
Then also it will print the same.
Okay,
Hmm.
now if I say company two dot company name is equal to, okay, tech field. Now, now, now what will be the output?
Then will be Tech Corp and again this two will be it's modifying. Then we take it will take Tech Field in the second, and in the third one it will be Tech Corp again. Hmm. Okay. So it will take all new one in the all the okay, because we are calling in the down also, yeah. So company name, tech field, company to company name, it will modify in the second step. Then we are calling one, two, three.
Okay, so now
What
when you're,
I'm not able to understand this. Can you please
I'll tell
explain
you.
me this?
So here we are accessing with the object level. So
Hmm.
with the object level, what we are doing, we have assigned the value to the tech field. Okay, so your tech corp is, though you are accessing with the object level, you are getting this tech field. We know that this variable, the static variable, will access only with the help of the company
Hmm.
class.
Hmm.
Directly with the class only you can do it.
But
You
for the
cannot access.
first one, see, can we go to line 13? In the line 13, 14, 15, can we just discuss on this? In the 13, we are taking the tech corp only. In the 14, we are taking the tech corp only, but we are again assigning tech field. So it will take tech field. But in 13, it will not take field, tech field. It will
Okay,
not take,
let
because
me explain you this.
we are
Okay,
only modifying in the line number 15, na? So from the second line, it should take tag field. For the first one, it should take tag corp only because there is no modification in that.
Okay, let me explain you one by one. Okay. So now first coming over here, we said static string company name equal to tech corp. So
Hmm.
which means like we created a variable company name and we assigned that value to tech corp.
Yeah.
Okay. And then we have a method over here that is show company, which means coming over here. If you see in the show company, just we have set to display the company name.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Now the next thing what we have is the object creation. Company one equal to new company. Company two is equal to new company. So these two are object creation. Company one and company two are created, but they both share the same company name tech corp because of
Hmm.
static,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
Right. So they both share the same company name because of the static. Okay. Initially. Now what happens over here on the line number 15? We are modifying the company name by using the object
Hmm.
company2 dot company name equal to tech field.
Hmm.
Since company name is static, the change is whatever you make. This change that affects all the instance of the company, not just only company two.
Yeah, I understand. Because we are changing the company name, so it will affect all. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
understand.
Now, okay. So this company name will be tech field now, not the tech card. Okay. So though we have mentioned the static in front of this variable, that variable will be common for all the objects. When you are trying to change the particular value, okay, it will affect for overall only, not with the object level alone. Okay. Then again, you have company 3 dot new company, which means object 3 is created and it shares and it still shares the modified company name that is tech field.
Yeah.
So that is the reason when you call, you got it. So now again, if you see in the place of in the company 3, if you say tech, okay, ABC, now this will be your tech ABC.
Yeah.
Okay, so static variables are shared across all instances of the class. When you change a static variable in one object, it affects all the objects. So even new objects that are created later will reflect the most recent value of your static variable.
Yeah.
Clear? So that is the reason you have to access the static variables, static method, and static blocks, static class with the help of the class name instead of going ahead with the object name. Now,
Once
coming over
again,
here.
I understand the variable and class, but what about the block?
I just now I am completing the variables only. Still, I didn't go ahead with the blocks as well. So
Hmm.
I'll just go one by one. Okay. So that's a reason instead of accessing your static variable. Sorry. Oh, sorry. That is the reason instead of accessing your static variable with the objects. So this is the reference inside the class. Object is the reference outside the class. Right now,
Hmm.
you can go ahead and stop this. Okay, company name, and then here also you can stop it. So it's the best practice to access your static variable with the help of the company only. So you can simply say over here, okay, um, company dot, can you see company name? Company name. Now if you go ahead and execute it, you'll have tech cart because company one dot show name that is calling this particular method. And outside the class, tech cart. Okay, just you
Yeah.
can make use of the class name in order to access your static variable or static. So think of a Wi-Fi router in an office. Every employee connects to the same network only, right?
Hmm.
For each and every employee, we won't create a new Wi-Fi connection, right? Already
Yeah.
it is there, just make use of it. Even in the home also, we will have a broadband. All the family members will make use of it. It is not that we will be giving an individual broadband connection to all the people who stays in the family, right?
Hmm.
So for this, we have a static variable that belongs to the class and is shared by all the objects. Okay. So this is at the variable level.
So we can limit also here that how many variables can access that particular class company like
No,
that.
not like that.
We cannot
How many
restrict.
objects that no, how many you can create any number of objects, and that number of objects will be utilize this static variable. You cannot restrict it.
Like
Okay.
10, we cannot restrict like only 10 variable can access this. That's it.
No, we cannot.
Okay.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
see, I want to check the practical because see, sometime in the Wi-Fi devices, there are restrictions that only
See,
10
that
per.
is okay. That is a networking concept.
No, no, that is fine, but I'm checking whether it is possible here or not.
No, no. See, I am just giving the connection only, not the
No?
total number of connections. Here you cannot bring it. Here you can have any number of objects for your class. There is no limit at all.
Yeah.
Okay. All
Okay.
right. Now let's talk about the next thing, that is methods. Okay. So when a method is assigned as a static, okay, when a method belongs to the when a method is having a static keyword, that static method belongs to the class itself. Okay, belongs to the class itself. You cannot call it with the object. Okay, so it can be called without creating an object. Now let's see. Now if I make this as static, can you see the error over here? I mean, can you see here? It was like warning, right?
Yeah.
So which means that you can use the static method, any method that is coming with the static. Okay, you don't want to make use of with your objects. Simply you can
Right
go
now,
ahead
you are
and
giving example of a static method or a static block.
static method.
Okay.
Here you have this and the method name, right? That one. Okay, so class dot show company name. That's it. So when you have a method, when you have a, I mean, when you have a static method, you don't want to have the object to call the method. Directly, you can use the class name and you can go ahead.
Yeah. In this case, there is no need to declare multiple object directly
You
call
can
the.
go ahead and yes, you can have it.
But we can declare multiple object and we
Yes, you
can
can
call.
declare
We can,
because you will be having a normal variables also, right? So in your class, it doesn't mean that you will be having only static variables. You will have, let's say like
yeah, we can create multiple object and we can call from the same from all the object to the same method. That's it.
exactly. Okay, so you can see over here, company. You can simply see, okay.
Hmm.
All
Yeah.
right, because static, it is not that we have only static method and static variable when we deal with a static. We will have a non-static methods also, non-static variables also. Okay, so in that case, you can go ahead and call with the object name, whatever you have created. Clear?
Yeah.
Okay, then okay, then we have a block. Okay, block, if you see, so block will be executed only once when the class, only once when the class is first loaded into the memory. When the class is first loaded into the memory, which means like once the object created, that time only it will be. Again and again, it won't. Okay, so let me show you this. So coming over here, block will be like this, static. That's all. That's all. So you can go ahead and you can say here static block executed. Now, what will be the output for this? For the entire program. For the entire program, what will be the output?
Tech corp.
Tech corp. What will be the output? So now coming
Mm.
over here, let me show you. Static block executed. So whenever you create, I mean, you can see here, right? Okay, so we have a static block. So that block will execute only once. Okay, only once when your class loaded into the memory. It is not that the static block will be executed whenever you create an object. Only one time only it will execute. After that, it won't get executed. Okay, so you can see the static block is executed. Okay, so now if you want, I will show you the constructor also, so that you can see which will execute first. Okay, so before to your constructor, your static block will get executed. Can you see? Static block executed. So though you mentioned static, it is at the class level. So once the class is loaded into the memory, the static block will be executed. You can have any number of static blocks.
Then this company is why it is printing three. I am a
That is,
constructor.
one second, I'll come over there. So you can have any number of static blocks. Okay, any number of static blocks. Okay, how many static blocks you have, that many static blocks
Two.
will be executed, and then it will go to the object creation. So now it is a object creation, so which is the constructor. Your object creation will invoke the constructor which is inside the class. The default constructor is parameterless, right? The default
It is
constructor
not
is
parameter. It is not parameterless. It is parameterized, I think. Huh?
parameter, means you will be passing the value. That is what the
Okay, okay,
parameter.
okay,
If you're
okay.
not passing, that is parameterless. Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
when you're creating an object, okay, it will go ahead and invoke the constructor even though if it is not mentioned in the class. Okay, you can override the company, or you can override the constructor. So you can see I'm a constructor. So you have three objects, so three times the I'm constructor is printed, but the static block that prints only one, because static is at the class level. Only the class one, when it gets loaded, that time only it will get printed. It is not that whenever you create an object, the static block will be executed. It is not like that. Okay, it will execute only once when the class loaded. Okay, is it is clear? And you
Yeah.
can have
So
any
you
number
mean
of
if
blocks.
we are using static, then only static message will be displayed that we are printing. So we cannot, the object will not initiate that method. It will be printed once only.
Exactly. You can have any number of static objects. Okay, sorry, static blocks. You can have
See,
any number of static blocks.
this is simple because see, we are not for the object creation. We are using company keyword because company class is there, and here
Hmm.
in the static there is no relation with the company class. So obviously it will not affect. It will only print this static block
See, when
executed
you
will
say
be
a static, we cannot say that there is no relation with the class.
because it's inside class this method. Huh? Oh, sorry,
Static
it's
static
inside
will,
company class. Huh? You
you
mean
can say static is having a relation. Okay,
relation with
static
company.
is having when the company, I mean the class, direct relation, we can say.
It
Okay,
has a
all right.
relation, but it will not affect the output of this static method. Hmm?
Mm, no. Okay, so static block will execute only once only. You can go ahead and execute this method many times whenever you want. See, I'm just executing multiple times the same thing. If you go and execute it, you can see the take up thrice, but the static block will be only once. Okay,
Okay. Yeah.
all right. Okay, now let's go with the next one. That is the fourth one is classes. So if a class is declared as a static inside another class, which means like it will be a nested classes. Okay, a class is if you're using a static with classes, and that will be considered as a nested classes, which means class is declared
Inside
as
the class.
static inside another class. Okay, it does not need an object of the outer class to be used. Okay, now let's see how it can be. Okay, so for this, I'll take another one. So let me see here as okay. Now, so I have a class outer. I want to use a static keyword for the class. So it doesn't mean that I will be giving the static for outer class. Okay, when you want to use a static for the class, that is will be like a nested class. So class inside the class. Okay, you can have you can have your method, you can have your variables also. Okay, inside the class, how you have your normal class, the same thing you can use it. Okay, the same thing you can use it. Now coming over here, okay, so you have to say like outer dot inner object equal to new outer dot inner. Okay, this I'll make it as outer. Now if you go ahead with the object dot show, then it will go ahead with the static inner class method.
Can you explain
So
again what is
uh,
why you are using
now,
outer inner?
okay, now outer inner here, if you see, this is for your class. Okay, this is for your class outer. Okay, outer one equals to new outer. This is your normal object creation, right? But you have a inner, you have the nested class inside the outer. It doesn't mean that you want to create like this inner one equal to new inner.
But why you are using outer and inner keywords? It is
uh,
required in this nested class.
because
Mandatory.
exactly, because you can see inner classes inside the outer class. So if you want to go with that particular flow, the hierarchy, you have to follow outer class dot inner class. So it will go to the outer class. In that you have the inner, make use of it. You got it?
So you mean if we are declaring object for inner class, then we need to use outer keyword as well with that.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. This is for your class. Okay. So we won't use this
So
nested class.
not only for inner, for outer also. For outer, it's not required.
Outer is not
Mm.
required because directly you can access it, right? So if you come over here and if you say outer one dot outer class method, that's it. So it will print the same. See, outer class method. So for accessing the variables or methods of your outer class, it doesn't matter, you can go ahead. But when you want to access for the inner class, you have to say outer dot inner. You have to create an object for the outer dot inner.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. So yes, that is your static. Okay, so we have completed final keyword and the static. Okay, any doubts that you have so far, please to let me know.
No, no, all clear.
Perfect. And then yes. Um, so coming over here, I think we have discussed about the parameter methods also, right? Method parameters, passing the values in the functions. If I'm not wrong, yes, function with parameters also we have
Parameters
discussed.
without parameters.
Yeah, function with parameters we have discussed, right? Where when we discuss about the method overloading, right? We have discussed it. Okay.
No, that time not discussed when
Wait
you
one
were
second. Let me check the day.
only when you were
I think
discussing
day on
about
6.
loops. I think that time you
See,
only.
function with arguments
Okay.
on day 6. Function without parameter, function
Yeah.
with parameter. So same name, same function name with the
Yeah,
parameters.
yeah, yeah. If we are
Okay,
passing some value, then it's a
it's
parameterized. If
parameter.
we are
Yeah,
not
exactly.
passing, there is no value, then it's a parameterless function.
Exactly. That is what the functions with argument. Okay.
Hmm.
Then let me check what else I have missed it out. Okay. Okay. Now let's discuss about the one more data type. Okay. That is enumerated data type, which we call it as enum. Okay. So let's talk about this. Now, enumerated data type. So it's a special data type we can say in Java. Okay. It's a special data type in Java. I'm sorry. Okay. So which means it is used to define a fixed set of constants value. Okay. So enum is a special data type in Java which is used to define a set of fixed constant values. Okay, define a fixed set of constant values. We'll be having more values as a constant. You have to mix it. You have to fix that value as a constant. So if you're going ahead and say final, just wait. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah. So instead of giving the final keyword again and again, you can store all the constant values. Okay, and then you can put it out. Now imagine, for example, let me say, okay, imagine you are designing a system for a coffee shop where customers can order small, medium, and large coffee. So instead of allowing them to enter any random size, you can use an enum to restrict the choices to only small, medium, and large. I have the values this only. They have to choose only this only, small, medium, large. They should not go with a random size. Okay. So for
Hmm.
that, I can make use of the enum. Okay, so without enum, if you're not using this enum, if someone might enter like a spelling mistake also, let's say like small small, if they say s alone, then that also cause error. So with enums, if you go, only predefined values are allowed, so which makes the system more reliable. Okay, which makes the system more reliable. And coming over here, even in the organization, we will be having some designation, right? CEO, general manager, regional manager, branch manager, TL, okay, scrum master. So like this, we will have a defined roles, right? So those things we can put it under the enum. Okay, so now let's see how we can go ahead. Okay, so and last one. Okay. Okay, now coming over here. Okay, so let's say like I wanted to have a enum that will be at the first. Okay, that will be the first itself. Enum. Okay, let me say the same coffee only. So coffee size. Okay, coffee size, that is, let's say, small, medium, large. So this is how you will be defining the enumeration. Defining an enum. So you have to define it before to the class. Okay, you have to define before to the class enum. Okay, Now, if you want to make use of this coffee size variable inside your class, say coffee size, my coffee equals to coffee size dot. Can you see it gives the value? It gives the value. It won't let you to enter a wrong value. That will throw an error.
Mm.
Okay. Okay. All right. So you can see change to small. That's it. So to make your code reliable, only the allowed values alone, if you wanted to make use, then you can go ahead with the enum.
So in this case, we can also make like 1, 2, 3 for one for a small, like we can int for a string small is equal to 1, or like that. A string medium is equal to
That
2.
means you will be modifying it, right? So I don't want to modify it. I don't want modify. That is the constant that I want. If you go with the
Mm.
int or string, that is not a constant. That is a normal value where you can go ahead and change it out. Okay, but I want a value that should not be changed, and that is the predefined value. I have to make use of it. Okay, so for this, okay, so now
No,
coming over here.
this is you are using for your method, but for from the customer view of, point of view, like he's pressing 1, 2, 3, 1 for a small, 2 for medium, 3 for large. So we can define here that one also.
That also we can do it, okay, with a switch case that we can do it.
Mm.
Okay, so now let me show you one by one. Okay, now let's understand the simple one. So here you can say like you ordered a, let's say
Okay.
my coffee. Okay, now coming over here. All right, so now coming over here, you ordered a small coffee. All right, so you can also change this medium. It won't allow you to go ahead and provide the value which is not allotted, which is not allowed. Okay, only predefined values we have to use, then you can go ahead with the enum. So you can see you ordered a medium coffee. Okay, so now we have declared the enum, right? And you can see the output. Now, how you can go ahead with the methods? You can also add additional informations in your enum. It is not that only with the values that you wanted. You can also assign values for your values. You can also assign values for your variables that you have declared inside the enum. So how you can, so it is not that you will be going ahead, it is not that you will be going ahead and assigning only the defined values. Okay, you can also add extra information. You can also add additional information. Okay, you can also add additional information to enum. How you can add it? Okay, how you can add it over here? Okay, so now coming over here, so when you say like this, you can go ahead. For small, you can say like this 100. For medium, you can say 200, and for large, let's say like 300. Okay, all right, so enum with values. Okay, enum with values. Now when you have this, okay, how you can utilize it? Okay, how you can utilize it? Okay, so you can see the coffee size, my coffee, and coffee size medium. So medium means I want to get it. Okay, I want to get it with the prices, right? I want to get it with the prices. So now coming over here. Okay, so let me see. Okay, I will go ahead and have a variable int price, and then I'm going to say coffee, because price I want to give a getter method as well, the setter method. So now let's say like coffee size int price. This is the constructor, and this dot price equal to price. Okay, this dot price equal to price. As soon as you create a constructor, can you see the error got disappeared?
Yeah. Mm.
Without a constructor, it was showing an error, right?
Mm.
Because it asked you to create a constructor with the int. Because when you say medium, that goes with the medium of 200, right? Which means 200 should be the value to be passed. Once you create the constructor, the error got disappeared. Okay, the error got disappeared. So now you can say public int get price, the getter method. Okay, and you can return the price. Okay, return the price. Now coming over here, if you say, if you execute this particular one, it will say you wanted a medium coffee, but at the same time you wanted the price of your coffee. Okay, all right, so you ordered a medium coffee. Okay, so let's say like
But it's not returning the price, na? It is just
that we have
displaying
to
the
do it,
last
right?
one.
That we have to do, right? So the price of your coffee, so let me say this one. So the price of your coffee is, how you will do it, how you will do it. So your my coffee, right? You have it over here, right? So you have to make use of it. My coffee dot. Can you see the get price?
Hmm.
That's it. Just go ahead. You ordered a medium coffee and the price of your coffee is 200.
200. Yeah.
Okay. So you can also add additional informations within your enumeration. Okay, now the one which you said. Okay, so if I say large, okay, I want to display some messages, right? So for that you can go ahead with the switch statements. Okay, so that I will show you in the next session. That only one thing is, let me check. Okay, let me check whether that we can take a time. Okay, Sachin, are you there? Sachin,
Yes, ma'am.
uh, can I take a 2 more minutes to discuss one last thing so that I can complete this topic? Is there
Okay.
is a time?
No problem.
Okay,
You
thank you.
can go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now coming over here, you can also use this enum in the switch statements. Okay, enum works great with the switch statements that makes your code very clean. Okay, so for that, what I will do is I will block this particular one and I will take your normal one. Okay, so now how you can go ahead. So when you say medium, okay, when you say medium, that will be my coffee, right? So I'm just going to say, okay, switch my coffee. So my coffee is having the medium value, right? So you can see medium is the value that it is, right? So I'm going to say my coffee. Okay, now let me say case. If it is small, okay, I'm going to print a message over here, a small coffee. Okay, then I want to use a break. Similarly, you can go ahead with your medium and the large as well. Okay, that's it. Is it clear? So you can take and you can check if you have selected small, what message you want to display, you can display. If you say medium, you can display a message. If you want, you can go ahead like that. So for example, weather forecast. If the forecast to say sunny, say wear sunglass. If the forecast to say rainy, take an umbrella. So similarly, Enum helps the program to choose the action based on the predefined values. Is it clear?
So let's suppose if we have not predefined in that case.
If in that case, it won't. It won't
No,
allow you
no.
to
See,
choose
no,
only.
no. 1 second. Can you? In this case, we have to make a fix like whether I mean here like you are defining medium. So how we will be able to print a small as well as large? Let's suppose someone want the small coffee. In that
Then
case.
you have to change the value over here. See? Oh, I'm sorry. Where's my
Oh,
cursor?
you cannot make the 3 lines of the same like coffee size, my coffee. Can you go to that one particular
Only 1 second, 1 second.
program?
Yeah, only 1 minute. I'll just close the other stuffs. 1 second. Later on, we can open it. Yeah, here you go.
Yeah,
See here you have coffee size.
can you print it sorry, can you just copy and paste it 3 times and change in that down to this? Yeah, and
You cannot
large,
go ahead. See, if you want, you
large
can
and small,
remove it. You can remove it and you can say
small, large.
large and then small. So, but this time it will consider only one. Your my coffee is assigned medium first, then it is assigning large, then it is assigning small. So this
One
time
second, if you will do my coffee 1, 2, 3, and here also.
you cannot. We are using a switch statement with my coffee only.
Hmm, hmm.
If you want, you can go ahead with the while loop. So multiple times, if you wanted, you can go ahead with the while loop
No, no, no.
and you can change it out.
This switch statement. So you mean whatever we are defining, that only it will
Based on
show.
that only, it will go ahead.
We have to change if we want something else.
Hmm. Okay,
Now this has printed this small coffee because in the last we have defined small because of that.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. Okay,
Small
so
coffee, small. Okay, small coffee. Let's suppose if you do in the last you will do the small. Can you change the value large or small?
just command this so that you will get the large.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, understood.
Okay, so the files I have sent on the chat. Okay, you can download it. So today we have discussed about the final, static, and the enum. Okay, so these three things we have discussed. Okay, so in the next session we will be talking about the abstract class, interface, package, and the access modifier. Okay, is that is clear?
Abstract class, package, and access modifier.
Yes, abstract class, interface, package, access modifier.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, yes.
So tomorrow will be the.
Tomorrow it's not possible. I just
See if
I got,
possible, then let him know.
I'll
Actually, I will
sure.
coordinate because today you need to confirm. I mean, you can confirm so that I can coordinate with them. If you are available, then we can do it
I'll check with the
tomorrow.
team whether slots are available and then I'll go ahead with that. Okay. All
Yeah,
right. So
any of the slots, any of the time you can confirm from your
mm,
side. I will be
okay.
available.
All right.
Yeah.
So in another two classes, I think your core Java will be completed. So we will be moving with the advanced one. Okay. So just we will check it out. Okay. Okay. So yes. So these are the basics of Java. In advanced, we will see
Can you
few
give
more
one or
things.
two program or based on this?
One or two programs. Okay. Let
Yeah,
me give you.
where
Uh,
based on these. Because I seen this final as well in Enums. These are used. I
Okay, I'll share it on the
mean,
WhatsApp. Okay, I'll ask the team to share it, and I have the access in WhatsApp, right? I will write and then I'll give it to you. Okay, so
yeah,
now
yeah.
another class has to be started in
You
another
can
three
drop the
minutes.
message in WhatsApp. I think
That's
you
what
have
I
the
will do.
access. Yeah, you
Okay,
have access. Yeah.
yeah, because another class that has to start in
Yeah. Can
another
you
three
please
minutes.
drop the files?
The files
Drop.
are already in the chat, so you can take it
Okay.
out.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
One sec.
Hello, Nidha ma'am.
Yes, sir. So you can confirm
Let
with
me.
Pavan whether he downloaded or not. Once he downloaded, you can wind it up. Okay,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
done.
Please let me know.
Sure. So Pavan, once
Yeah.
you done,
Yeah. I
please connect.
downloaded. He
Yeah,
can
okay.
close.
So we'll connect with you in the next session. Tomorrow I'll check with the team whether the slots are available. If it is that, I will book it out. Okay. We
Sure.
will
Sure.
connect. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Sachin, you can wind up.
Okay. Thank you so much.